We know that polls are a great way to engage our learners during our online teaching sessions. But you can't just bash out a poll question quickly and fire it out there in your session. That is going to equate to a meaningless learning experience. Think carefully about how you choose, design, and run your polls to optimise the learning you're delivering. Here are 6 steps to follow to make sure that you get your polls right. 1. Choose a software that you're happy with. Zoom and Teams have their own built-in polling systems, but Menti, Poll Everywhere and Slido are all great paid options that I've tried and used in the past, and they have free versions. These are all similar, so the key here is to think about what it is you want to be able to do with your polls and then choose a software that fits your needs. If you want something more complicated than just a multiple choice option that you can see the simple results of, you're likely going to want to move away from Teams and Zoom's built-in functionality. But whichever software you use, make sure you test it beforehand and know it well. 2. Think about why you want to use polls. Polls can be used for many different reasons. Let's say you're running a teaching session on the importance of parents reading to their children. One reason you might want to use the poll is to check student learning and identify problem areas. You might just ask, why is reading to children beneficial, with some multiple choice answers. Here, this type of question can help you clarify any uncertainty. It might direct you to redesign course materials for future, or it might reassure you that your learners are up to speed with the basics and you know you can move on. You might also want to use a poll to engage and foster deeper learning. This could encourage students to work together to generate ideas or to help refine their thinking. It might warm them up for a discussion that you're going to have later in your session. Here you might ask, as a poll, what ways might you educate parents to recognise the value of reading to their children? This might be an open question, allowing them to give varied answers. You might want to run a poll to connect the learners to the meaning of the teaching. That means encourage them to connect the learning that you're giving to their lived experience. This will help them integrate the learning. Think of a book that your parents read to you as a child. Why did you enjoy it? Open answers to this poll might help develop and integrate that knowledge. 3. Design a good poll question. For this, you need to select a concept first. So choose one that's going to benefit from having you as the teacher or trainer there synchronously, rather than a concept that students could read up themselves about beforehand. So our concept here is around how we can increase reading rates in families. Use Bloom's taxonomy and Bloom's levels of learning to help guide your question writing. So Bloom's levels are remember, understand, apply, analyse, evaluate and create. Which of these do you want your poll to do? Consider what type of question you want. So you can use open-ended questions, you could rank, you could use missing words, multiple choice or word clouds. There's lots of options, so think about what type of question you want to use. 4. Choose the right timing. When will be the most effective moment to run your poll during your online session and why? Could it be used to complement other learning in the session? So after asking about strategies to encourage parents to read to their children at home, you could then split your learners into smaller groups and get them to design a 5-point plan. You'd have used your poll teaching to integrate into your next learning stage. 5. Think about accessibility. How are your students going to actually see the poll? Are they going to need to log into a different software, and do you have to set them up with that login access in advance? Are you allowing them enough time to switch between the screens that they need to do to see and answer the poll? Is there an app for the poll that they could download ahead of time? Also read the question and the answer options out loud to help your learners. And make sure you've got a backup plan for if the poll doesn't work, they can't access it or they can't read the poll. And that might be just to type it in the chat. 6. Be flexible and make sure you use the answers from the poll in your learning. Depending on how your students answer, you could use these results for learning tasks during the session or use it afterwards to help develop and encourage further analysis. Polls are a great tool, but only when you use them well. I hope now you can use this framework to develop polls that actually enhance your learning and aren't just a gimmick.